Welcome back. You're watching Global Eye. We still have with us Navtej Sarna, former Indian ambassador to the UK and the United States, K.C. Singh, former ambassador and strategic affairs expert, Kevin McCall, managing director, the UK India Business Council, and Mahesh Babu, chief operating officer at Switch Mobility. Ambassador Sarna, let me now ask you about the situation in Ukraine. Do you think there was understanding from the press conferences? There was an appreciation for India's stand, but do you feel that the UK Prime Minister would have urged India, the Prime Minister, to take a stronger stand against Russia and also maybe stop importing Russian oil, or that conversation is over now?
You know, I wish I could have been a fly on the wall when that conversation took place, but I wasn't. So my guess is that, Prime Minister Johnson would not have said anything directly on these issues. The Indian position is well known. It has been explained in detail a couple of weeks ago to Foreign Secretary Liz Truss. And I don't think Johnson was intending in any way to come and lecture India. I'm sure he said what he had to in his own way, and we would have said what we had to in our own way. So I think that conversation for the moment would have been, done and dusted. And what we can see from the press conference and from the joint statement and paragraph on Ukraine is that we have agreed on the issues we can agree. We can agree on humanitarian assistance, on condemning civilian deaths, on calling for an end to hostilities, and we've done that. And I haven't compared it word by word, but broadly, this is the same position that was worked out in the 2+2 with the United States a few days ago. So I think this was the easiest line to take instead of having any unnecessarily difficult conversations and spoiling the pitch for a very important bilateral visit. So that would be my guess on this.
Right. Okay. Ambassador K.C. Singh, just to get you in on 2 points. One, there was a strong push from the Indian side to get back Nirav Modi and Vijay Mallya. The British Prime Minister, while addressing the press later in the day, had said that, yes, this conversation did happen. From the UK government side, we have cleared the extradition, but there are technical difficulties in sending them back to India. Also, India has been concerned, and this has been an issue in the political relationship about Sikh extremist groups operating in the UK. We saw them actively condemning India's position during the farmers' protest as well. This has been an ongoing dialogue. How do you think these conversations went and the messages that came from the UK Prime Minister on both these issues?
Look, as you said, these are old issues. They've been discussed for a long time, and High Commissioner Sarna would be familiar with it. Normal excuse, whether it's Canada and to a lesser extent England, Canada more so because the Sikhs there are much better organized than they are in England, take the stand that, look, there is a rule of law. And in our case, simply criticizing another country or demanding freedom, one part of that country to become free, does not fall foul of their laws. It comes in freedom of expression. So as long as they are not adopting any violent means or they are not funding militancy, the governments don't like to step in. They just leave it at that. They allow them to vent their feelings and go away. But if somebody is crossing the limit, that's it. Now, as far as extradition is concerned, extraditions are always a combination of legal and political decisions by a government. Ultimately, an extradition is a political decision. That's why you start with the Foreign Office. They approve the trial to be held, and after the judge decides, even then it comes back to the Foreign Office, the Foreign External Affairs Minister here or the Foreign Secretary in England, who then signs onto it and takes into account your relationship with that country, any other factors which are beyond the legal scope. Now, those may be in place. So all that really Boris Johnson can do is, once the legal hurdles are out of the way, he can speed up the political clearance, that the Foreign Secretary doesn't sit on it, or political pressure is not applied in the Foreign Secretary. From India's point of view, they also know that is how it is. But it's good to raise it for public relations purposes, shows that the government is proactive, etc. So this is normally done. but it is also to ensure that there will not be a hurdle after the legal steps are taken.
Right. That is an important point. Shows a statement of intent. But Kevin, also to get you in at this point, the UK Prime Minister said that UK would be offering an open general export license to India to remove bureaucratic hurdles in defense procurement. UK will collaborate with India on advanced fighter jet technology, advanced helicopters, undersea battle space. Tell us how this partnership could progress. How important will it be in terms of defense trade? And what does an open general export license really mean, Kevin?
Thank you, Parikshit. I think there's some really important announcements today on defence cooperation. And it's worth stressing that these are not knee-jerk reactions to the war in Ukraine. These are part of a long-standing deepening of the bilateral defence relationship between the UK and India. I think there are three key components that are worth highlighting that will help achieve even greater UK-India defence security partnerships. The first is this investing in the co-creation and the co-development of defence equipment and technologies, and forming manufacturing partnerships that will indigenize India's defence supplies. So UK companies working with Indian companies to make defence equipment in India that can both achieve India's own defence procurement needs and be exported to other countries. Secondly, and linked to that, is the future tech collaboration, for example, in electric propulsion. So the UK is a world leader in this, and collaboration between our two navies and the defence community, I think, can really be a boost to the partnership. Third thing that supports both of the first points is that, that we think further reforms will help indigenisation. UK defence firms generally support Atmanirbhar Bharat and the push for more defence manufacturing in India. But at the same time, these businesses, to make an investment case, need to have a strong encouragement from the government of India to continue reforming its procurement procedures, especially regarding the discharge of offset obligations. That would really help to catalyse, and that's a step the Indian government could take. This new announcement today that will reduce some of the bureaucracy will really streamline the process from a UK side moving into India. The technical details of it, I think, still have to be worked out. I think there are more meetings taking place next week on defence collaboration, but the announcements today covering technology and processes, I think, are really, really encouraging.
Right. Mr. Babu, to get you in, you met the British Prime Minister some time back, and I'm sure Ashok Leyland must have also sent its recommendations on market access on the UK-India FTA. How could this be beneficial for Indian businesses? As an Indian businessman who has invested in the UK, tell us the kind of market access issues that UK companies are facing and what could be better in terms of a business environment for Indian companies like Ashok Leyland and Switch Mobility.
Thanks, Parikshit. I think both the directions, both the prime ministers are very clear that they want to invest in clean tech and mobility like electric mobilities, both in the countries. And they are open to have access to technologies on both sides, manufacturing capability. They talked about clearly co-manufacturing. That means the technology which is being co-developed is being manufactured in, let's say, in our Leeds factory as well as in our factory in India. So there is a very clear, open and transparent way of sharing knowledge and the partnership between the two countries. I would say that by our collaborations between UK and India in clean tech mobility like electric mobility, we should look at the global market. I think we should not look at only UK and India market. We should look at how both the countries can leverage the cost structure of India and the innovative process in UK and co-develop products and technologies which can serve the world. So I would look at something like that, and that's what I have seen from both the prime ministers reflecting on our interactions.
Right. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us. I'd like to thank Ambassador KC Singh, Ambassador Navtej Sarna, Mahesh Babu and Kevin Nicole for joining us here on Global Eye, giving us their perspective on the India-UK FTA and India-UK talks at this crucial juncture in geopolitics. Thanks once again for joining us here on Global Eye. We'll be back with more news and updates.